Hello, Kansas City. Welcome to another wonderful episode today of Life After. I am joined by one of the students that I knew in the past who also went to that fantastic place in the city called Paseo Academy. I remember his smile then, and I see it now. He's also got some surroundings that might tip you off as to what his path has become and what he does these days. So thanks for joining us, Larkin Collins.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. So when we jump off on these interviews, we kind of explore the first big question is that year that you graduated and really what you remember the most or what you think you took away from that year that's still with you now. Doesn't have to be everything, but maybe one thing that stands out. So tell us, what year did you graduate and really what still stayed with you from that year?
I graduated in 2003. What stuck with me? There's a lot of things. That school, it encompassed a lot of what I experience now as far as meet new people from different places. And that's what I miss the most about graduating. Going from the 8th grade, which was the 8th graders were in the high school. So going from that to graduating. So we spent 5 years in high school. So when I tell people that, they'd be like, "What? Did you get held back?" No, it's a long story.
Right.
So we, from 8th grade to graduating, just meeting new people was easy for me after graduating because I've already experienced that in high school and been in the atmosphere.
Gotcha. So 2003, I remember you were involved in theater and you did participate in the old show we had called Coffee House. I remember you doing some monologues. That was back when we had it even in the cafeteria, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We had tables with tablecloths and donuts and things. Tell me, do you remember that experience fondly? What do you remember about those shows?
I remember just improvising a good experience for the audience. And everybody was involved in it, so everybody had felt everybody had stake in it. So everybody pretty much chipped in and made collaborated or cooperated with each other to make it a good experience for everybody. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, we always had great audiences and always had great performances. And we never ran out of things at all. We did that in many years, I think 16 or 15 or something like that in a row. So what you guys were getting rolling in 2003 was just getting started then and really, really kept growing. So that's fun to talk to one of the OGs of Coffee House.
Right.
All right. So now take me to this move. You remember graduating and you remember the moments after, I would imagine. The kind of neat part to center in on is what happens when people finish high school and then kind of experience this new challenge of what do I do next? So do you remember that? What did you think to do next? And what did you do next?
See, after high school, I didn't know what to do next, to say the truth. My sophomore year, I didn't expect to graduate. And so I switched majors and ended up with, I started off as a creative writing major when I first in the freshman year. And so went from that to acting with Miss Connor. Mm-hmm. And so at that point, I was struggling, learning how to read. And as a freshman, as a sophomore. And so she helped me with Shakespeare. She put it in front of me and I was like, oh my God, what am I looking at? She's like, well, just take your time, Google some of the words, and then we'll get through this monologue and then we'll go from there. And so from there, I was taught to prepare for my next move and whatnot. So she had me make a 5-year plan. And in that 5-year plan, I just pretty much chopped off things off the list and made it as I go pretty much, because if you make a 5-year list, if you knock one thing off of it, that thing can help you for the next step. And so I still do that to this day still. So just knocking out that list and making it all. So after high school, I went to college for criminal justice. And so I thought I wanted to be an FBI agent. And then in the meantime, I was driving a school bus. I was a lifeguard for Soul Park Pool, Radio Shack, like just picking up jobs around the neighborhood, trying to see what I'm doing next, pretty much. And so in the process, I got an agent also. So from acting, I got an agent, so I get some gigs. And Miss Connor told me that I have to position myself in order to get to where I want to get to. And so as I started doing that, I realized like even at McDonald's, like I was slinging burgers or whatever. I was doing that. And so the personality shined through pretty much as a person working at the register and like, hey man, you got an agent? I'm like, what the heck is that? No, I don't. And so he taught me through the process and I got an agent, got my first gig like within the first month and started doing some acting. And then from that, I ended up being a fireman somehow.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. And then
Right.
you just kind of jumped into the fire world. So yeah. I imagine those are a lot alike. There's a lot of like responding in the moment and being, good under pressure, right?
Yeah, pretending that you actually like, pretending that you don't have stuff going on. Like you see a patient and they have a lot going on. You like, okay, let's just take a step back out of my world and get a perspective from this patient. The few minutes worth that we're interacting, let's get him to where he needs to be at. So I'm acting like I'm not upset about what's going on at the station or whatever is going on. So a lot of acting takes place in the fire department also.
Sure. I bet a lot of people listening aren't really sure. What do you do to prepare to be in this career? Like what steps did you go through? I imagine they're required. Not everybody just walks in and just becomes a fireman, right? Like I would imagine there's a lot of special training. So how long does that take, and what do you end up doing to get ready?
The academy is physically I was already in shape because I did track in high school. So it takes general knowledge test at the beginning. You got to do an interview and let them know that you're capable of doing simple tasks, and then it gets a little more elevated when you get on the job. They want to know if you're thinking on the right path. And so I think as a lifeguard, they got me ready for that trend of thinking. And plus, in high school, I learned how to research. When I started researching Shakespeare and whatnot, I started researching the words and technical terms and I put them in like action and seeing what I was going to encounter in the future. According to what the words I saw. Because I recognized all the words that I saw on the EMT test, but you Google some of them and be like, okay, I get it. So the preparation, man.
Yeah, like what are some of the things that you would do? Give us one example of something a fireman does that is part of their preparation to get ready to be a fireman. Like climb. I'm imagining climbing stuff or breaking.
Yes,
through,
like today.
Yeah.
Today we did 30 flights of City Hall. That takes physical and mental, and so it starts off mental because you have to get there. So once you get to City Hall, it's 30 flights there waiting on you. And at the 20th floor, you're gonna be like, I probably should have did that. So you continue going. So it's a mental battle. You got to overcome that. And so that's preparation, mental preparation and physical preparation, and get them working together is a good preparation to be a first responder. And I think transition into a better human also. Because you can overcome things mentally.
Very good. Okay, so tell me I imagine you like it. I'm just guessing, but do you do you like what you're doing? Yeah. What do you like about it?
Yes, I do.
What do you like?
The community interaction, like seeing kids light up when you show up. The part I don't like is seeing people at their worst, but then again, you're there to help them. So that's the plus side. So when you show up, you know that you know what you're doing. You know that your crew is good and what they're doing, and you get to just drive around and absorb all the positivity in the neighborhood. Sometimes negativity in the neighborhood, but you get to be the person who puts the positivity back into it when you show up.
Gotcha. So you're doing other things too. I think I've seen you're a boxer. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I do charity boxing matches for Guns and Hoses. Happens every year around the same time, like October, November.
And you're not just
Missing.
competing, but you're winning and stuff, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
plan is to win, and the
Yeah.
preparation for that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm winning so far. I am
So you ran
4-2.
track, you did theater,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
you're still using both of those as like part of your goals for your life, right?
Yes.
That,
Yes. Definitely.
that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Yep.
bringing
Yep.
us up to speed. I imagine when we're young, we think it's a cool looking job, but I don't know how many people I've even met that have gone into this career path. Did you know
Right.
people that had been firemen or
Nope.
no? So
I had no idea.
do you remember what gave you the idea? Like, I'm going to go try this?
Yep. So actually, the person I work with today, he inspired me. He had no idea. I told him like a year ago when I first started working with him. I was like, yeah, man, I went to the pool and I saw 2 black firemen and they had like big handlebar mustaches. I'm like, oh man, that's pretty cool looking. These dudes like real burly and whatnot. I was like,
Wait
oh,
a
that's
minute.
pretty cool.
Show us yours. Like you got one going. I see it now.
Right, I'm trying to like catfish a little bit, but
Awesome. I've never tried that. I just kind of keep it right here. That's cool.
I can't grow this center part, but the outside grows like wildfire, so I just let it go.
Very cool. So you were inspired by some people you met who made you think it was possible or something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you're still in contact with those people today?
Yeah, I'm working with him right now. He's a driver.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm happy to be working with him.
So is this a plan for a while? Do you have goals like to stay with this or to move up in this area, or do you think that way right now?
So when I saw these guys as firemen, that inspired me to do it, and then I had to look at other variables that the fire department had to offer as far as like scheduling. So I worked 24 hours on and 48 hours off. In the 48 hours, I could do anything. So I was doing acting. I was doing, right now I have a drone photography company, Larkin Drone Services. So I do drone photography and inspections. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Like until something else happens, I'm doing investing also in stock market, but that's a learning process. So
very cool. So 24 hours on the whole time, and then really 2 full days off to recover from that. And then that another 24 hours the next day. Is that right?
Yep.
That's the cycle. Boy, I didn't even realize that was the cycle. That's really cool. All right. Well, hey, your smile is coming through. So tell us either how you keep that, or like, because this is the part where you ask for a little bit of advice. And you've already told us so many valuable things, and people who have helped you make a plan, like Miss Connor, who was really, really fantastic. I remember working with her and learned so much from her too. But what do you think you heard back then, or you think young people need to hear today as they go out and find their own paths?
I think you have to listen to the message of other people, even though it sounds, some cases, their message might sound negative. Look at the positive of the message. Like my teacher, Miss Dunson, she used to tell me all the time, "Well, you ain't gonna be nothing. Like you're gonna be trash. You're acting up. You're a class clown." And I kind of got offended, but it made me put some pep in my step. I was like, okay, I'm gonna prove her wrong. I think that's what she wanted to do to me. It wasn't the fact that she was being negative. It was like, I saw the message in it. I'm like, okay, but I saw it afterwards. I didn't like lash out or be mean to her or anything. I was like, okay, well, I'm just prove her wrong. That's my way of like being a revolutionary or whatnot. Like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna listen to what she's saying. I'm gonna do something different. And so that put me on the path of thinking of taking a message from somebody, taking the positivity out of it. So if you hear a message of somebody that you think they're being negative, like try to think of their perspective and turn it into a positive. Because not everybody is trying to be negative. Even if they are, it still can be a positive for you because it's a different experience for you.
Wow, that's powerful, man. I appreciate you sharing that. As we go out and encounter everyone every day, we really aren't sure exactly how to interpret what they're saying. But I would tell you, I'm not a fan of people telling you can't do things either. So I really think it's you. It's what's innate in you that how you reacted to that's so important for us to notice too. But yeah, we should not have people in our profession telling you can't do things. Man, I hope I never put that on to anybody. And if I did, I hope they did what you did, is fought back against me and said, "Watch this, I'm about to." So
And then, you never I never see you in a negative light. Even when you first came to the school, I was like, that's a young teacher. I never seen one of those before.
Sure.
And then like the way you carried yourself, it was like you were one of us, but you weren't one of us. Like there was no boundary cross between teacher student. There was always, hey, that's Mr. Odam. He's cool as heck. And then move along because he's our teacher. Like so
I appreciate you.
That was just pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That's really fun. Yeah, and what I miss a lot about not being there is knowing that I could authentically be that person and appreciate the back and forth between students. It's kind of why I'm having so much fun doing these interviews.
Right, right.
This is still me. This is still you.
Right.
It is an honor to hear that, you know, we interacted so well in the past, and that I wasn't one of those people trying to discourage you. But hey, props to you for fighting through that discouragement and making it to this place where you are right now. You seem
awesome.
Contented and powerful as heck out there in your free time, even doing more to maximize your opportunities. So anything
you have to.
Anything you want to tell Kansas City? It's kind of a fun last thing. We potentially are talking to all the city right now. I've lived here my whole life. I always love giving shout outs to my city. Is there anything you'd want to tell Kansas City as we close down this interview? And thank you for being here.
No problem. Kansas City, I urge you to vibrate at a high level all the time. Like search for it, the high vibration, take care of yourself, and be positive, because if you be positive in your mind, it affects your body also and people around you. So just consider everybody and their struggle or whatnot. Just be positive.
Thank you, sir. All right. Well, you're hearing us here on Life After on KCPS TV. My name is Chris Odam. This is Larkin Collins, a fireman in our city who was once a student at Paseo Academy. Looks like he works on Pumper 33. Shout out to him and his crew. And thank you so much for you fitting in a little time to be with us today. If you're interested in doing a show like this, please reach out and contact me at kansascitypublicschools.org. The first part is just CODAM. And I would be really glad to come find out about you and then listen to your story. But we're signing off this morning. Thank you so much for listening, Kansas City. Have a wonderful day.